Chapter 9. Mr. Fox has a plan. For 3 days and 3 nights this waiting game went on. "How long can a fox go without food and water?" Bogus asked on the 3rd day. "Not much longer now," Bean told him. "He'll make a run for it soon. He'll have to." Bean was right. Down in the tunnel, the foxes were slowly but surely starving to death. If we could only just have a tiny sip of water," said one of the small foxes. "Oh, Dad, can't you do something?" Couldn't we make a dash for it, Dad? We'd have a bit of a chance, wouldn't we?" "Not at all," snapped Mrs. Fox. "I refuse to let you go up there and face those guns. I'd sooner you stay down here and die in peace." Mr. Fox had not spoken for a long time. He'd been sitting quite still, his eyes closed, not even hearing what the others were saying. Mrs. Fox knew that he was trying desperately to think of a way out. And now, as she looked at him, she saw himself stir and get slowly to his feet. He looked back at his wife. There was a little spark of excitement dancing in his eyes. "What is it, darling?" said Mrs. Fox quickly. "I've just had a bit of an idea," said Mr. Fox carefully. "What?" they cried. "Oh, Dad, what is it?" "Come now, Mrs. Fox. Tell us quickly." "Well," said Mr. Fox, and then he stopped and sighed and sadly shook his head and sat down again. "Oh, it's no good," he said. It won't work at all." "Why not, Dad?" "Because it means more digging, and there aren't any of us strong enough for more than 3 days and 3 nights without food." "Yes, we are, Dad," cried the small foxes, jumping up and down and running to their father. "We can do it. You see if you can't. So we can." Mr. Fox looked at the 4 small foxes and he smiled. "What fine children I have," he thought. "They are starving to death, and they haven't had a drink in 3 days, but they are still undefeated. I must not let them down." I suppose I could give it a try," he said. "Well, let's go, Dad. Let's go. Tell us what you want us to do." Slowly, Mrs. Fox got to her feet. She was suffering more than any one of them from the lack of food and water. She was very weak. "I'm so sorry," she said, "but I don't think I'm going to be of much help." "You stay right where you are, my darling," said Mr. Fox. "We'll handle this by ourselves."